about, the body and stuff and how it's, they're doing this and that. I mean, have you talked to a plumber that's literally he's deep in feces? He's using his body and he's doing the most disgusting job in the world. No, I'm being serious. Laborious jobs. You're utilizing your body and you're putting your body through shit just to make
necessary. There's a difference between necessary and just pleasure. There's a difference. Yeah, there's a difference between.
Let's let Mark finish, and then we'll move along. I'll try to go as quick as possible so everybody has something to say. Go ahead, Mark.
So the issue being at hand is, at the end of the day, it's like if somebody enjoys, like whoever made up the sex is taboo, sex has a lot of benefit for your health. Who gives a shit? If somebody enjoys having sex and they want to make money doing it, why not? I mean, a lot of people go out there, they fucking hate their job. They're using their body to do it, and they hate it. Sex. I want to get paid for doing this. Why can't I? Why is that taboo? Why is sex taboo? Why is it so bad to actually enjoy what you do? Is it because the other people that you're putting yourself out there for other people? Whose business of it is it anyways at the end of the day? Hold on, I'm going to land the plane in a second. I'm going to land the plane in a second.
Thanks, you're next.
At the end of the day, the way I look at this is that sex is a necessity. Sex workers are a necessity. You have people that the people that they deal with on a constant basis, if they weren't able to actually have this opportunity or this outlet, you would probably have a lot more essaying going on and a lot of other raping going on if you didn't have sex workers there. Mark, and this is the bottom line truth.
Mark, no.
It is. It is.
I can tell you why.
If you don't believe it, that's fine.
I can tell you why.
Wrap up. Okay. If you want me to wrap up real quick, just look at the Netherlands where it's actually.
Everybody has ADHD here. Nobody can wait a minute. Go ahead.
Okay. Look at the Netherlands where it's actually legalized, and their amount of raping essaying is much lower than us. Much lower, women, and it's legalized there.
For regular women who aren't sex workers, they are the guess who gets raped and assaulted when sex work is that legalized. The sex workers, the strippers that are in the club. Like if you were saying earlier, well, what if this woman owns the brothel or owns the club? That is just not that's a very rare thing that doesn't happen often. That's not common for the industry. It's not common.
No, see, but I'm making comparisons of something that's actually true though. Go look at the Netherlands.
Let her finish.
Their raping and essaying is at an all-time low. They have a red light district.
Just let her finish.
Yeah, no, the raping, the essaying just doesn't happen to regular everyday women. But guess what? It happens to the ones in the film industry. It happens to the ones in the clubs. They are the ones who have to deal with it. So it's not like it stops. It just happens to different women. It's extremely common in the sex work industry, in the film industry, and in the clubs to just be constantly being sexually assaulted. And then to Werewolf's point that you were making earlier, like I was saying, it's rare for the situation to be where the person owns the club and they get to make all these rules and decisions. And it's also rare for it to be where there's a rule where you don't have to touch anyone. Everywhere I worked, there was the concept of nobody touching you did not exist. Anybody could touch you anytime they wanted. It was not any strict rules of no one touching you. It was not any security keeping you from being assaulted. Assault and things like that are extremely common.
So we agree.
Right.
So
okay, but you're talking about the film industry. Hold on, one second. You're talking about the film industry, Minx, and that happens with. Yeah, but hold on. It happens in the film industry as well. We're seeing that now. So it doesn't matter if you're talking about sex workers. The amount of people that are getting SA'd is probably on par with people that are just in the industry in and of itself.
Okay,
it has nothing to do with being a sex worker.
Okay, so wait.
The rates of assault in sex work are way higher. They're extremely high.
Let me respond. So the easy solution is like we support clubs who do not uphold this. That's all. So like we don't have to justify like these sex workers being SA'd because that's like wrong objectively. We could just argue for like better security guards, etc. If we're going to make it legal, then we should make it a safe environment and provide protections for these people. So that's the response that you're getting. I don't know
what makes you think there isn't already some in place though? Like I mean honestly, I don't understand why you think there isn't any in place.
Because Mark, I worked there. Mark, I was in the industry for 10 years. I worked there. Do you know how much I got assaulted?
Okay.
You know how many times I have been sexually assaulted by people?
Who said that? Minx? Wait, who's saying that? Minx that you worked there or Smoothie?
Me.
Minx.
Yes.
Sorry, you're both repeating, so I wasn't sure.
I'm speaking from direct experience. I'm speaking from 10 years of experience. Assault is every dancer I know was assaulted.
Minx. He literally quoted the Netherlands. He's citing the Netherlands. Like he's not talking about the U.S.
Yes.
The Netherlands have pretty heavy restrictions and rules for sex workers, and they protect them. In the U.S., they're pretty lenient on sex workers in general and sex work in general. So that is why like it's pretty much unsafe. But if you go to areas in which it is legal, they do have generally really good protections for the people who
I think that's debatable. I've read that in the red light district. I've read it in the red light district. There is tons of assault, and the workers in the red light district have lots of issues there.
Minx, there isn't. I'm going to tell you with 100% certainty there isn't. It isn't. Not even close to the United States.
Okay, radio, go ahead. Yes, it's just for physical sex, not for your lovely.
Anybody else want Jaden to read?
Wait, really?
Anybody else want Jaden to read 50 Shades of Grey to them at night time?
Oh, I absolutely will.
Absolutely.
That's not us work, so go ahead.
That is sex work.
Come on,
That's
Jaden.
absolutely sex work. A client is paying to be stimulated by the sound of my voice. I've done that multiple times. Like, that's sex work.
Do you know who Jaden is?
Wait, oh my
This is
God,
the
like,
hinge
Why are we
of my
derailing the
dude.
fucking conversation
stop.
now?
Anyways,
I really
Wait,
don't
Christie.
know. I've never had Jaden.
Wait, Christie, you know what this
Sir,
guy
no one
is?
cares. Like, actually,
Jesus
like,
Christ,
know.
dude.
Let
Jaden
everybody
spreads
speak.
problematic propaganda.
Oh my God,
He
okay.
literally
Oh, yeah.
wore like puberty blockers for kids.
That's
he thinks
not
trans women
propaganda.
are women.
It's not
All right,
propaganda.
Christy, can I bring it back to the topic, please? Christy, can I bring
Please
it back?
do.
Yeah,
Laura,
so,
I'm just
Christy,
butthurt today.
so I guess I'm a little bit confused because like you're okay with like the audio stuff, but like would you be okay with like OnlyFans and like porn? Or
I don't agree with that either. Again, I think it's harmful for women to use their bodies to make money. That's
Wait,
so
so your
why-
argument was
why
about
is it okay for
physical
Jaden to do
activity.
it then with his voice?
Well, OnlyFans. I mean, I think that's part of S work as well. Using your
Right,
voice.
that's
as
what I
voiceover.
said. Sex work is an
Well, yeah.
umbrella concept. Okay, so we're
You
talking
can't
only
just, you can't just
non-physical
favorite
stuff.
like
Right.
some types of sex work, because if you're
Yeah.
gonna say like
Hey,
actual
all the
physical,
people in the chat, you can't pay to kill
Bro,
me.
shut up.
Know your role.
We're trying to have a
Jaden, shut up.
conversation, AV. Go to the
Hey,
corner,
Jaden,
please.
I want you to apologize.
Anyways,
to me for
bro,
trying to dox me.
Jesus Christ,
Hey, I
I
want you to
didn't try to
apologize
dox
for
you.
trying to dox me.
I don't even know your name,
Jaden,
dude.
apologize for trying to dox me.
Maybe it's an extra $50 for you to keep talking.
No one's tried to dox you,
Apologize,
dude.
Jaden. Jaden, I
Yeah,
want you to
that's
turn
right,
on your
that's right.
camera.
It counts as an extra.
Jaden, I want you to turn on your camera.
Yeah, man,
and
1 second.
Apologize.
I'm not gonna
And
get him.
apologize to me.
Stop
the
with
question-
the bitch fit. We're trying to have a conversation here.
can you stop like talking over people, AV?
Yeah, can I make a point real quick? See how
Wait,
when
I was literally about. All right.
hold on. See
No,
how
no, guys,
opened
let
up.
Smoothie. Let
About-
Smoothie finish. I feel like she's keeps getting cut off.
I want to hear what
Go ahead,
Smoothie
go
has
ahead.
to say.
Smoothie,
Yeah,
then Angel. Go ahead.
So yeah, I guess we're just trying to get you to delineate like why you're okay with like the audio stuff, but like not with like OnlyFans.
I want all the people in
Oh
the
my
comments
God.
to
Oh my
apologize
fucking
to me,
God.
too.
Hey,
Jaden,
down.
It's like if
Every
herpes
time
had a
you interrupt
voice.
someone, take a shot.
Apologize to me
This
too,
keeps coming
because
back.
Jaden is not man enough to apologize for trying to dox me.
'Cause that didn't
so all the
happen.
people in the comments, you better
Because that
apologize
didn't
to the
happen.
AV show.
Hey, babe,
Jaden, you better
Hold on, Jaden, you tried to
apologize
dox
to me
me?
and
No.
tell my dude to apologize to
Hey,
me. You
babe,
understand?
you have your own
tell
show
my
to
dude to
jerk off
apologize
in.
to me.
All right,
Bro,
baby,
go host your
hang
own life,
tight.
dude.
Hang tight, AV. Hang tight.
Nothing of the sort happened. But anyways, if we can get back, what was your question, Smoothie?
Yeah,
she
so I was
did.
asking like, so Christy, why
Yeah.
is like audio stuff okay in terms of like selling your labor, but not like video stuff? Like if I were just like just I don't want to say like just playing with
Basically what I'm
myself.
doing now.
Yeah.
No,
If I
because
were
I
just like
think
playing with myself.
it's more degrading to have use your physical in a sexual manner. So I don't think if Jaden has a sexy voice and if he does voiceovers and reads a book and people listen to it and whatever they decide to do after that, he's kind of detached from that. So I'm talking about women that actually use their physical
Wait,
body.
where's the line of symmetry between what other people do? Because they can be emotionally, physically attacked.
We get it. You
Yeah,
like
yeah,
exploiting
stop
women.
talking.
You're for S
Is he
word.
serious?
You need to quit exploiting
My
women.
God.
It's not
Every
exploitation.
time you talk
Exploiting
over someone,
women
can we
for
just
their
like all
body.
take a shot
Hang on,
collectively?
No, literally, Angel.
Exploitation.
You're a
I got you.
misogynist.
Hang on, hang on.
Disgusting.
I'm such a
Angel, like,
misogynist.
All right.
Why are you
Well, I think it's pretty
exploiting
degrading to be. I think it's pretty degrading to be knee
I'll
deep in
degrade
shit
you,
in the
AV.
sewer system, right? So,
AV, you
I mean,
walking
hold
pile
on a
of
second.
herpes.
Hold on, one sec. Hold on, because I never got my question answered. Oh, AV, one sec, guys, one sec, guys, one sec.
Hold on, AV. Hang on.
One sec.
Hang tight, AV.
I never got my question answered because it's very degrading. I mean, if you think about it, being knee deep in somebody else's feces as a plumber in the sewer system,
Come on, Mark.
opposed to doing sex work. No, what is more degrading to yourself? It is. Whether you like it or not, you're fixing somebody else's shit.
Okay, so
And it's
Mark, okay,
it's one of
Mark,
the worst
hold on.
jobs in the world.
He's
All right,
good.
Mark. So let's take
What's the difference?
Okay, so Mark, let's
Wait,
take
what's
this
the difference
exact
between like
point.
that and being a CNA and cleaning up poop?
Well, hold
Right,
on, Mark. Let's take that.
Well, we're
exact
talking
point. Let's
about-
apply- Hold on, Mark. I'm gonna respond to you right now.
Yeah.
Let's take
Christie,
that, let's
wait,
apply
Christie, I
it.
just want to say I am sorry for interrupting your live, but I just wanted to tell
he's
Jaden
not.
he's a bitch for not apologizing to me like a man,
Okay.
but I won't interrupt anymore, Christie.
You're a
I
bitch
love
for
you,
crying
Jaden,
about
you're
it.
a bitch for that. But Jaden,
I
you're
feel
a
like you're
bitch
not
for
sorry because
apologizing.
you've done it
Okay,
over and
okay,
over.
hold on,
and
hold
over.
on.
Still doing it.
All right, hang on, Evie. Okay, so Mark, I just want to ask. I'm going to ask you a question based on what you just said to me, and I'll be quick because I don't monologue. So, okay, let's do it. Let's do it for your wife. So, if your wife decided she wanted to be a plumber and be knee deep in SHIT, or she wanted to go do S work to make money, where are you feeling?
So you're coming from somebody else's perspective, but if it came to an individual perspective, like myself, if I wanted to do it myself,
Yeah.
then I would rather do the sex work than fucking sit knee deep in shit in somebody else's feces and fucking getting paid the same. I would
Okay, so-
absolutely do sex work.
Okay, let's apply it to your family. What about your bloodline? What if your bloodline decided to be they either want to be a
That
plumber?
you can't do that because it's an
Why?
individual. It's an individual. No, you can't do that because then what you're doing is anecdotal for what you feel
No,
for
no,
somebody
I'm not-
else.
because
It's about
I
the individual
understand.
themselves.
I agree with you, Mark, but I also notice that people will say it's okay for other people, but when you apply that same logic to your relatives or your family members, people kind of take a little pushback and they're like, well, you know, if it was my daughter, I wouldn't want her to do it anyway.
Well,
That's my
okay,
point.
that's the whole thing, is that I'm not being hypocritical about it. At the end of the day, I can't control what my wife or my daughter does. I would prefer them both not doing any of those jobs, but those jobs need to be done. One of them anyways needs to be done. But I'm asking you, the question is, what is the difference between the two? It does need to be done. For you to fix a sewer line, absolutely. My question is, if we're putting it into comparison, some people enjoy sex work. Some people enjoy getting paid for it. Other people, I could tell you there's more people that enjoy doing sex work than there are people waking up at 2 o'clock in the goddamn morning because the sewer line broke and they're sitting there trying to fix somebody else's fucking shit. I can guarantee you that 100% like certainty. I've done it before when I was a young man, having to do that shit. And I'll tell you, it's not something that you want to do again.
Do you think women who have been assaulted
assaulted
enjoy being told that they're liars, that they're lying about their sexual assault? Because that's what someone's literally doing to me right now in the comments.
Minx, I'm not telling you that. I've never said that you're lying. I didn't say that. I'm not saying that at all.
Comments saying that I am a liar and that I am manipulating statistics, which is a
Minx,
don't worry about the
those are
comments.
the kind of people.
Minx, don't worry about the comments. Don't worry
I
about
don't care. Those are
The comments will always have something to say.
a lot of people in the comments like to talk shit because a lot of the people are for Jaden. So you obviously know a lot of them are
Oh
morons.
my god, bro, you've got a major hard on.
No, the question being here is this. The question being here is this: is that it's for me, it's
in
not.
the comments. Hey, Shark, fuck you too.
Hang on.
Minx, for me, it's
Maybe you're gonna get flagged. Hang on.
for me, it's
Go ahead.
it's the importance of letting somebody being able to decide what they wanted to do with their own body. My body, my choice, remember? And at the end of the day, I mean, if you're going to do comparison with workloads, there's a lot of people that do such dangerous jobs that they're not able to recuperate their body again after doing said jobs. Like, which is more detrimental to your health?
Quick question. I'll be very quick. I'm passing a lot of judgment about people who are doing this for a job. There's another side to that. So if your son, husband, brother, not husband, that could be a problem, but depending, books me, or books Jaden, or books an OnlyFans person, do you have the same amount of disgust and upsetness for the person who's doing the booking? Or is it just me who's sitting here dressed like this at 5:30 in the morning, getting paid?
Are you like you're speaking about like a madam? If there's like a madam that's doing this?
No. I'm talking about literally if you found out in the same way that you find out that your daughter or son, whatever, wants to go into sex work. What if your kid's like, hey, I've spent money on a OnlyFans worker?
No, that's just as dangerous and just as bad.
I would say they need to read a Bible and get Jesus. Because S work is not
No, I'm just genuinely asking because we always talk about what the workers are doing. We always pass judgment.
Do you think it's okay for an 18-year-old, 19-year-old to sell their body, think that that's all they're worth? You're more than your body. You have more value than your body. Kids to sell their body, you are an objectifier and you are a misogynist because women are smarter than just showing their tits. That's
You
what I'm
do
saying.
realize it's fair, but it's
No one said that they should.
Because if the 18-year-old wants to do whatever the 18-year-old wants to do,
Women are smarter than just showing their tits.
able to do.
No one's saying they aren't smart enough. We're simply saying let people do what they want to do.
No one said we're not smart
Saying
enough.
let them have the option.
All right, hold on.
Why is sex so taboo?
Intelligence, though.
Hold on.
What does it anything? Okay.
Wait, hold on 1 second. I got you right next, I promise. Angel, do you have anything else you want to say? Because you didn't really get in that much.
I coming from someone who AV is kind of targeting, the 18-19 demographic, being a younger woman, I don't think we should be giving sex workers, whether they are man or women, or regardless of age, we should not be giving them a bad rep because, yeah, they're making money that way. Some people might not like it, but if they're surviving off of this, we let them do it because we're in a really shitty economy right now. And I don't think we should judge it.
But that's a horrible
Wait, hold on, Evie.
mindset.
Evie, I got you. I'm going to let you talk. Hold on, Evie. Let her just finish up and then I'm going to move it over to you.
I just, regardless of what type of work someone does, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to compress all my thoughts.
Take your time. We're here. We're listening.
Listen, just sex work, whether, it's none of your business what someone does with their job. And it's not, your job to say, oh, this is disgusting, you're disgusting. You hate yourself, you have no morals. A lot of people who do sex work do it as a side gig. I know a lot of people that do OnlyFans for that extra money that they might be short on, which can be beneficial in some ways. I'll let everyone else know because I got
Okay, so again, I'm sorry, I don't know
I was
Angel,
next.
but that was probably the worst argument I've ever heard.
Hold
Because
on,
you could insert an S worker for a drug dealer. Oh, they just needed to, sell drugs to kids. People just you're job matters and what you do with your body matters. So if you're telling an entire generation it's okay to sell your body,
AB, what you're talking about is completely opposite, dude. One of them affects other people, the other one only affects.
Hang on, Mark. Let him be finished, Mark. Let him be finished.
What she's saying is, oh, she's doing it to, feed her family and pay the bills. Okay, well then you could say that about a drug dealer. You could say that about a gangbanger in the fucking
I would say that about a drug dealer. I think we should decriminalize all drugs.
So what are you talking about? Jaden, I'm talking. Shut your fucking mouth when I'm talking.
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
I never said like who she's supporting specifically. It doesn't matter who she's supporting with the work she does, so whether it's physical or not. If she's making that income to support herself or her family or whoever it may be, then let her do it, because what she does with her body is none of your, like, it doesn't matter to you.
Okay, well, if my body, I decide to sell drugs, am I a bad person?
Then good for you.
Because
good for it. Go for it. Good for you. I don't know.
Hold on.
Absolutely do it.
You know I love you, brother. You're good. You're fun. We always have great conversations. But
yeah, Jaden,
you're literally putting. Hold on. You're literally comparing apples to oranges, because the drug dealer is affecting other people, yet a sex worker is only affecting themselves.
No,
they're not affecting other people. No, they're not.
Untrue.
They're not.
Wait, everybody,
It is
hold
true.
on.
It is true.
It's not true, Mark. Sorry.
Call me a
do that type of, on the street, woman of the night type stuff. You are affecting multiple people. You are affecting that man or that woman that you are choosing to sleep with. You are affecting that family that man is with, and that person that is doing it also, that is paying that worker, is just as guilty and just as wrong.
Amen.
I agree with you 100%, Radio. I think that's my point too.
Jesus, let's go.
People, Radio,
Radio, they don't want the truth, though. They don't want actual people who are in the fucking industry for a goddamn decade to tell the truth about what was in there. As soon as you do, that's when people start saying, oh, you're lying about your experience. Oh, you're exaggerating. People literally, you're exaggerating your experiences. The people who are in the industry are literally reporting what the industry is like, that it does harm other people, because guess what? See, people in the comments, you're spreading misinformation. Bullshit. You don't know what the fuck my experiences were. Anyway, the clothes, the managers, the agents literally let pimping, let prostitution, let drugs, let crime go in and out of their fucking clothes.
And somebody,
great points. Hold on. You have Radio finish up.
I'm landing the plane. But I'm just so tired of people saying that it doesn't affect other people, because it does. Both parties involved are affecting loads of people. Let us not forget that preacher back in the 80s that was preaching one thing about not doing certain things, but then got caught with his hand in the cookie jar doing the very same thing. And he affected his entire church congregation, his entire family, everything. So yes, the comparison between the D word and this are very much the same thing.
Thank you, Radio. Awesome. Everybody was so super polite.
Radio in the chat. It's kind of like,
yes, ma'am. Thank you, Miss Christie.
But they're the most
on
the app. Isn't that right, Jaden? Aren't you proud?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over fucking migraine.
We're fine. We're fine, because the thing about this is that we have all these judgmental
shut up, Shark.
right? What did you just say?
No, not
Bro, if you want to talk
Baby
to the
boy,
comments,
just calm down.
Baby, you really need to calm down.
Just calm down.
Yeah, man, we gotta be cool.
Serious.
Like I'm a pretty cool cat, man. I'm a pretty cool cat, man. I'm proud to be. But when we get into discussion, we're not talking about people that are being pimped or trafficked or any of that stuff. Those are crimes. We're talking about people that are making decisions, right? And you're in and if you're talking about the United States, we're talking about a country that's set up specifically for the individual to thrive based on the way they have determined their thriving will be best served. And to tell them, well, you can't do S work because, well, I find it morally detestable, right? Your thriving, my thriving is it's not rendered based on whether or not you find my actions detestable. Who cares? If it's legal, it's legal. If that's what I choose, that's what I choose. I've made this decision for my own life, and nobody.
Keith, let me ask you a question, then, Keith.
Yes, ma'am.
A woman who decides that they want to go into a strip club and be a stripper legally, they go into a strip club, they go into another strip club, they go into another strip club. They find out that every single one that they're going into has illegal prostitution going on in the strip club. So they've gone there on their own volition, they've made a choice. But guess what? Because of the way that the industry is run and because of what's common in the industry, now their choice is affected. So what they initially went in there to do, which was to just dance on stage, now it's infiltrated by tons of illegal stuff, drugs, prostitution, because you can't separate the two. You can say sex is a crime and it's different, but guess what? That's where they do it. They do it all through legal venues.
Okay, but we're not talking about that at all. We're talking talking about individual
You can't
people
separate the two.
making, yes, I can make individual choices. If I decide I don't want to go in the club and I want to do this from my own home and I want to have a phone that calls me and then I go meet the person that I want to interact with myself, I have made only my choice and no one else is interfering with that. And I don't think that the judgment is ever going to be something that's going to be helpful. And if you're doing anything, you're pushing these people further into what they're doing by judging.
Okay, so
Yes.
fair enough. So, but my argument still stands is that do you think it's okay to just teach the sexual liberation?
What everyone needs is Jesus and a Bible. Isn't that right, Jaden?
Jason.
Dude,
Are you gonna ask Freddie
maybe,
Krueger?
come on, bro.
I'm a Christian.
Maybe this is not about Jesus. It's about simple
Yeah, dude. Dude.
Hey, you know what's
I'm a
funny?
Christian
You know what's
myself.
funny? Jesus dined with
Hold on, I can't hear Miss
prostitutes.
Christie, y'all. Miss
Hold
Christie
up
was
one
saying
second.
something. She asked me a question.
I'm a
Can I
Christian
hear what
myself,
she
and
wants
it's
to
good.
ask?
My question's really
Okay.
yeah, no, my question's really quick. Sorry, I got my daughter
Yes, ma'am.
gave me a call. I'm a texter. So
We're
my
fine,
question is
ma'am.
like, don't you
We're
think?
fine.
Yeah, thank you. Do you think it's appropriate? Well, let me not say appropriate. Do you think it's beneficial to teach women, the my body, my choice argument? And I'm not talking about abortion. I'm talking about
Yes,
for
ma'am.
S work.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you think like teaching them sexual liberation and sleep around and do what you want to do and be free and all this? Do you think that's a dangerous? Do you think it's a dangerous message for women?
What I think, Miss Christie, is that people need to be able to be exposed to the truth. Right, the truth is that I am the sole proprietor of my body. Right, that's the individual, single, only truth. I own this body, and there is no one else who can tell me what to do or when to do anything with it. Right, and you can probably try to steer people clear of it. Right, and say, well, these are the repercussions of doing this, this, and this, and these are the benefits of doing this, this, and this. But to try to demonize something, it will never serve your purposes. It will never do that.
Instead of demonizing,
Yes, ma'am.
what about just preventing it from happening? What about just educating? What about just guiding, especially your daughters, for example? What about guiding them? Jaden, I want to hear you next, and then radio, I want you to go after, okay? Because Jaden has.
Go ahead, Jamie. Did you want me to answer Miss Christie, or you want Jaden?
Yeah.
AB,
no,
stop it.
Keith, really quick.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, if it was your daughter and your daughter was 18 and she said, hey, Dad, you know what? I don't want to go to college. I want to go be a stripper because I have a great body and men tell me that I have a great body and I want to go strip. What would your advice be for her?
I would expose her to all the plans. I would tell her, well, this is the plan. This is what you can get to school. This is what you can get to the club, right? But I wouldn't do anything but expose her to what the absolute truth was. If it's not going to be beneficial and there's going to be more money in going to school and you're going to make $70,000 in your career field, or you're going to make $100,000 at the strip club because of what you're doing, I have telling my daughter a lie is the most disgusting thing that I could possibly imagine having done to my child. I love her too much to tell her a lie. So I will not do that. I won't lie to her, even if for her own benefit.
Done that her whole life.
You know what? I
you
love
have
my daughter enough
distilled
to
these
tell her to stay
things
off
into
of
your
a pole.
child.
I love my
So you
daughter
would
enough
think
to
at
tell her
the
to stay off
age
of
that
the
they
damn
had
pole.
made
How
it
about
legal
that?
to then make whatever choices they wanted, they would then say, okay, my father has distilled all of these things into me. My mother has as well, but I'm still choosing to do this. What do you say then?
I don't know, ma'am.
There's no
I
more
really don't know.
time to push all of these
actually
things onto
agree
your
with
child.
Keith.
You should have already done it. They are
How
now
about you
deciding for
how about you love your
themselves what
daughter
they
enough
want
to
to
keep
do.
her off of a pole?
AB, shut up.
How about you love her enough
How
to respect
about
her
you love
decision?
your daughter
Can I
enough
say
to
something
teach her
really quick?
morals?
AV?
That
To teach her
too.
about God.
AV, can I say something to you really quick? And I'm not trying to pull everything.
You're muted.
Sorry, I didn't know. Go ahead, Jaden. I want to hear you. You've been waiting. Go ahead, Liz. You can go after, and then we'll go around the board.
That's my little girl
I was
right now.
after
So listen, I'll be right back, you guys. I gotta go get my little girl right now. I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
All right.
Sure. Godspeed.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
So this notion that any of us of in these facilities in these line of work is absolutely not true. So what I'm calling for is for a unilateral decriminalization of this, which adds workplace protections, which adds extra levels of security when it comes to their autonomy, when it comes to their bodies, when it comes to their space and well-being. And I don't think that's a bad thing to say, that if you're going to work this job, I want it to be a place that you chose. I want it to be a place that is protecting you, that is respecting your interests, your space, and your body. So that's all. I think that's a fine proposition.
So, Jaden, let's take that exact same. Wait. Hold. I got to put it to the test on every
Hell
person.
yeah.
Jaden, your daughter, 18 years old. Dad, I don't want to college. I want to be a stripper. What's your advice?
So personally, I don't think sex work should start at 18. I think 21 is a good age to
Okay,
start that.
let's say 21.
Yeah, I just said, I think that's fine.
So your daughter comes to you at 21 years old. 21 years old. Dad, I want to be a stripper. I have a great body. Men tell me I'm beautiful. I want to go be a stripper. Your response is that's fine.
Well, it's not going to be that brief, but I'd say, look at where you're working, who you're working for, what your protections are, what your conditions are, who your clientele is going to be, and if there's a level of security that's going to make sure that your interest, your body, your safety is number one and not the client's.
Okay.
Why you put that safety already there? All the safety.
Let radio go, and then Liz, and then Black Jesus, you're after. Radio, you go. Liz, Black Jesus, go ahead, and then Minx, you can go after. I'm sorry, I'm trying here. I'm trying. There's people in the guest box. Radio, go ahead.
You're doing a good job. First, I'm going to say is this because it was brought up earlier. Yes, Jesus died for the prostitute, but he also died for every sinner out there. So to say that Jesus
dined.
Okay, I misunderstood. Yes, he did that too, but he was also trying to preach and save them. That's the most religious I'm going to get here. That's the most religious. You coming in? AV, stop.
It's not about religion.
This is not about religion. That is the only thing I was bringing up was because it was brought up earlier. I get tired when people try to put religion into places where it's not in discussion. And I'm a Christian myself.
Religion out of this specific conversation, because I don't know what everybody's is and Muslim and Jewish, whatever. So let's keep that separate for a second.
What I'm going to say is this. You ultimately, over time, it might seem like a good idea at the start of this thing. But then eventually over time, it's going to wear on you. It's going to wear on your body. It's going to wear on your soul. It's going to wear on your mind. And I'm no angel. Nobody here is an angel. Wear on you, and it's going to wear on your mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I just can't understand why having a little bit of fast cash now is worth what's going to happen to you later on down the road.
I mean, you could make that argument about literally every occupation in America. Working in a call center is going to wear on you. Working at Walmart is going to wear on you.
Saying that other jobs do it does not excuse me.
Every job.
Let Miss Liz speak, please. Let Miss Liz speak. Let Miss Liz speak.
You can get trauma from any industry.
AV, stop.
Liz, go ahead.
Hi, thank you for having me, first of all. I appreciate
My
you having
pleasure.
me.
Yeah.
My thing is this, okay. Rather a daughter of 21, 25, my daughter is young still, she's going to be 16. If my daughter comes to me and says, hey mom, you know, I don't feel like school is my thing, but as you said, I have ABC and I want to be a stripper. Now, being a stripper does not mean that you go sleep with every classy and you can be trashy. Now, that is going to depend on each individual person. You could sit there and bibliofy every piece of the Bible to an individual child or human being. At the end of the day, that person is going to do what they feel is right in their mind and in their body. Why? Because it does not belong to none of you guys. It belongs to that person. 2, with that being said, AV, I've seen you say, I've been in your commentary before, and you're all about Christ, and you're all okay, but you're the first one to place judgment, baby. You're the first one to place judgment.
Hey, wait. So I'm not placing judgment, but what does God say? Okay. So Liz, are you telling me that it's okay for a woman to go sell her body? But guess what? I'm trying to tell women that you're more than just your tits and ass. You're more than just a body.
We don't need you to tell us that. We don't need you to speak for us.
People? But Liz, that's not judging people. I think better of women, unlike Jaden here. He thinks they're nothing but tits and ass.
Really? Yeah, because that's definitely what I said.
Can I ask a quick question before I hop off?
I want to hear from Black Jesus too. Hold on.
I think women deserve better than selling their tits and ass.
AV, knock it off.
One of us is in a long relationship right now. The other one's single.
All right, hold on.
I just want to say,
I want to get Black Jesus up. Go ahead.
I understand. I'm hopping off,
Liz,
but I
that's
just.
very hurtful after what I did.
Shut up,
I helped
dude.
you and your son disrespect me. Liz, I see how
Nobody
it is.
is disrespecting you,
Hold on. Go ahead, radio, quickly.
Okay.
This motherfucker obnoxious as shit.
Go ahead.
I thought I was an obnoxious one, but the fact that people in this stream are saying that they would tell their daughter, oh, these are the benefits and these are the pros and cons of doing S work. That's really rather weird to me, because even my friends who do this line of work have never had these conversations with their father or their mother. That's just gross and weird.
I agree.
To you.
Black Jesus, go ahead.
But also, I don't understand why I'm listening to people with kids. I have 2 kids. I'm not talking to my 6-year-old daughter about this. Or my 2-year-old.
If they know that the parents are predisposed to disliking it anyways, then it's definitely susceptible that they wouldn't be having this conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All y'all need Jesus.
Go ahead, Black
All y'all need
Jesus, and then CK,
Okay,
and then
okay.
I gotta log off. So go ahead, Black Jesus.
I'm leaving, but all I'm gonna say is this: AV, you need to stop pushing Jesus in every single space because I'm a Christian. Jesus is not. Jesus is the answer, but here's the thing: you're forcing it on people. Hold up, hold up. Jesus, AV,
What did I say that was racist?
AV, Jesus says not to force your religion onto people. You are not supposed to.
I don't even want to hear it. What are you
Okay,
talking
hold on,
about?
hold on.
If they express their
I feel
racism,
for you.
I respect Jesus. How about that?
Have a blessed day.
Because the
Have a
true
blessed day.
racist here is Jaden and my dude.
Wait.
They're the
AV,
true racists.
AV. You are not supposed to. You are not supposed to force your religion onto people. It's biblically sound. Not
Look, we're
yes,
having a
you
measuring
are.
contest.
You are. So knock it off.
Okay. AV, all right. AV.
Ideology on TikTok. It's all a lie. It's
Oh, it's
all
shrinking.
bullshit.
AV. Okay, hold on a second. Black
Barely
Jesus,
see the
go.
line between my fingers now.
Go ahead, Black Jesus. I want to hear you.
Okay.
Sorry.
I understand that everybody's really passionate about this. I'm 42 years old, and when I was coming up, you didn't have what we have now, which is moral relativism. So moral relativism is what these ladies are talking about. If it's right for you, then it's right for you, and my truth, and this, that, and the other. So there's no objective right and wrong. So to them, a girl that's young, that wants to sexualize herself and sell her body, or sell pictures of her body, or sell access to her body, that's perfectly fine because that's her choice. And if she makes more money, then that sounds great. Because what's more important than money? What's more important than that? You can put that at the top of your value system.
Jesus, go ahead, finish. Let him get to his point.
You can put money at the top of your value system, and as long as you're making plenty of that, then that just justifies anything you want to do. And I don't think that we should operate that way. I think that our principles and values should be at the top of our value system. But the problem is nobody can agree on what is moral anymore because we're having an argument with people who say that there is no such thing as morality, that it's whatever's right for you is what's right for you. So if you want to, dress as a frog and live your life as a furry and dress as a woman and read books in front of kids, or if you, whatever it is you want to do, you want to walk down the street and expose yourself, because it's a parade, that's all of it's fine because everything's fair. And the only virtue, I'm not, 1 second, brother. The only virtue.
He's talking, Jaden. Be quiet.
Hold on, Amy. Hold on. Stop. Go ahead.
The only virtue that anybody needs to have isn't honesty, isn't modesty, isn't integrity, isn't any of that. The only virtue you need now is tolerance. You need to be tolerant of whatever anybody wants to do, no matter how it affects society. And I'll close on this point. If I could make it where you could jump off a building and land on your feet, you couldn't get hurt. There would be a line down the street. Because part of good decision making is you consider the consequence of your action and whether or not you want to pay that consequence, right? So when you put birth control out there, or you put abortion out there, or you put child support out there, and you put family court out there, and you do all of these things to insulate people, from the consequences of their decision, or you make sex work legal so that it's safe, so that you can just practice it and it's no big deal. When you make something easy and better to do, then you remove the consequence that's supposed to be natural in the consideration of whether or not to do it. You are promoting it. You are pushing it because you are making it easy and safe and accessible. So people who say, hey, you know what, we should just make it legal, we should just do this, we should just do that, they don't realize it, but they're advocating for it. And that's why you have such an incredible amount of women now who are on OnlyFans. You got an incredible amount of women who are sexualizing themselves on Instagram and Twitter and this, that, and the other, because it's free and it's safe, and we remove all judgment, we remove all moral standards. So now everybody can just do whatever they want. And what do you have? You can't separate children nobody wants from rampant sex. If everybody's just screwing, then you can't separate the fact that people are going to have babies that nobody wants. And when you look at the prisons and you look at the mental institutions, 80% plus of the folks in those places come from fatherless homes. They're the result of rampant, wild, useless sex.
It's true.
So you guys can talk about your personal freedom. You can talk about.
Finish. Black Jesus, finish up because they're getting impatient. Go ahead, Black Jesus, finish up.
You can talk about your personal freedom, but you live in a society and you receive protection from that society. Clean water, food, all of these different things that are available to you so you don't have to go out and hunt. So what do you owe back to the group? You don't owe going out and screwing anything you want and making babies that can't grow up and compete and perform in society, that fill up the mental institutions and the prisons, or just killing the kids inside of you so that you.
We got to land the plane, brother. We got to land the plane, brother.
No, whoever said that, he's speaking facts. Whoever said that, shut up and let him speak.
Yeah, right. So shut the fuck up, please.
You have the right. You have the right to do
like my
whatever.
hairline. You wish you had my hairline.
Hold on.
You have the right to do whatever you want,
baby.
You have the right.
Hold on.
You have the right to do whatever it is you want, but it is not the burden of society around you to try to remove the consequences of your actions, or society is oppressing you.
Facts.
And that's what it seems everybody, how people see the world. And it's this extreme entitlement and a complete lack of morality as to why none of us are happy with the world we're seeing around us. It is fucking decaying around us. And
CK, thanks, Black Jesus. CK, go ahead.
So listen, I'm not.
Do we have to?
Christie, can I go after CK?
You gotta respect the hostess, you guys. Everybody's trying to talk, and the hostess wants to give everybody a chance. You guys have to.
I have to log off in 10 minutes. CK, AV, and then if anybody else has anything to close, I gotta go. I gotta pick up my kids, and my kids, I gotta pick them up. So CK.
Christie, everyone donate to Christie. She's awesome. Christie is amazing, Jaden. So send her some money.
No, I'm okay. I want to have this conversation for no money. I want to have this good conversation.
I just want to say, these little side swipes that he's throwing at me, just real quickly, it's all because I did not give him the 5% discount on my OnlyFans, and I stand by that. I fully stand by that, AV. You cannot get the toast content.
AV's like a meathead, bro.
You're gonna give me 10% live.
Can I?
No.
So now you gotta give me that shit
guys,
for free.
give
me that shit for free.
Can I just
let him finish?
Can I just say something quickly?
I'm sorry.
To get into the moral the aspect of like if your daughter was doing this and all this. I'm just going to talk about the moral inconsistency, right? So we're talking about sex workers and we're talking about they shouldn't do it. Raise your hand on here if you ever watched P.O. Corn, right? So raise your hand if you ever smoked, done scold, done anything that's detrimental to the society in itself. Raise your hand.
Wait, Zaza is not detrimental to society, bro.
I know. Hold on.
Wait, let him finish. Let him finish.
Smoking is detrimental to society and families because if you see your father smoke, there's a 75% chance that you're going to smoke. So we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about facts. It's the moral inconsistency. We see that we care about people's body when it benefits us the most. We saw the backlash during the vaccine, right? Oh no, this is for the betterment of society, but people aren't able to get vaccines because it's my body, my choice. We decide when we want to exhibit and to push what's important or what we need to do or how we care about people's bodies. So the moral inconsistency is the shit that is driving me fucking crazy. If you watch Corn at all, you are contributing to sex work. Period. 100%.
Wait, that's the
Wait, can I say something? Christie, can I say something, please?
Yes. Hold on, AV.
Can I?
Oh my God, he's having the
wrap
worst arguments ever. He argues worse than Jaden.
You look.
Let him finish.
AV's on that stuff.
Show your face. You're talking about my look, yeah? Show your fucking face, yeah?
AV, I have 500,000 followers. Go look on the page.
Show your fucking face. Are you following?
Why is this turning into a pissing contest?
Don't you dare follow me.
AV, you look like the inside of a
Wow, it's really nice that we're spending the time doing
Ladies, calm down. Ladies, calm down, okay?
Can I just go back and finish my
CK, shut your mouth when I'm talking.
Can I talk about my I am not arguing.
Everybody mute when somebody's talking. That's it.
I'm not arguing with a man who didn't wash his ass. I'm not arguing with a man who doesn't wash his ass or feet. Okay?
You don't even show your face. Shut your mouth.
So what I'm simply saying is
hold
this.
on.
God, I know why you don't get no hoes. So
just
simply
talk about the point. Don't worry about AV.
The point is this. If we're going to talk about morality and stick to these hard, fast moralistic values and cues, we have to be consistent with it. Once again, like I said, if we're against sex work, then we should absolutely be doing whatever we can to not support that business. AKA, if you go to a strip club, if you go to a Hooters, if you go to a Twin Peaks, if you go and you watch Corn, if you do any of those things, you are contributing to it. And what happens is the fact that since we know we contribute to it, what it really comes down to is this simple fact. We are trying to control women's bodies. That is it.
Oh my God.
Because we're not talking about, we're not, bro, go get it.
Christie, can I be able to say something? Because I feel like we're going to take forever.
What I'm simply saying.
Or can I talk this guy?
You really were the fastest sperm.
Christie, I know you gotta go, but can I say something before they go off?
I have like 10 more seconds. I gotta go back to
Oh my God, be quiet, Site. You keep talking.
Oh my God. I can
Look up, CK, go back, AV, and I'm closing off. If we can't finish up, I'm just gonna shut the live because I really gotta go. Go ahead, CK, finish.
I understand. Let it go. But
okay, thank you.
All I'm saying is just be morally consistent because a lot of this is bullshit. We like to change around what we think is moral, which fits us the most. If you are anti-vaccine, you can't even talk about moralistic as well in any other aspect because it is subjective. Because you decided to do something that was against the betterment of the greater good because of how you felt in your perspective. Govern your own fucking lives, because some of y'all.
Wait, this is hilarious.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. Please let me go.
Go ahead, Mocha. Hurry up.
Okay, so real quick, right?
I agree.
I feel like this would be
porn. Don't consume porn. Don't watch porn.
I feel like this would be a more different situation
if what's it called? If this was, I guess you could say, an adult thing, but unfortunately, these things are pressed onto children. It is very easy for children to access these things. They do that on purpose because if you get people at a young age, that's how you get more money. That's how you get more consumers. The porn industry, S-work industry is all connected to human trafficking. So if this was a situation where it was just an adult thing, I feel like I'd have a different perspective or say, whatever, you're an adult. I would think it's disgusting, but you're an adult. However, these things are pressed onto children. And if you guys don't notice that or recognize that, then you're part of the problem.
That's okay. I just want to say one thing. Wait, before everybody goes, I just want to say one thing. I have